I read your first manuscript of your previous book, which was The Reason Is You.
Mm-hmm.
Just the dialogues and the way that I remember there was a scene of a couple fighting. I mean, the main characters in that book fighting, and I remember thinking, this is very real. This is real to the point that I felt like, I mean, did this happen? Is this just directly taken from? Because dialogues are so tough to write, especially dialogues which are supposed to be in the flow, either an angry conversation or a romantic conversation. It just becomes stilted when you're putting it on paper. But I think there's something about the way you approach writing them that comes from a place of empathy, and it just reflects on paper. So I feel like that has stayed the same. And
I think that's
so,
exactly what I was going to say when you said
yeah,
what has stayed the same all through the years. I think it's the dialogues. I mean,
yeah.
not to brag, but I'm very good at dialogues. I've
No,
been
I
like,
mean, that's the first thing I noticed about. I mean, I remember talking to you about it and talking to, my publisher about it and saying the dialogues are so close to, to
yeah.
reality that it's almost eerie
And
in
I've
itself.
like kept them all from the beginning. Like I don't go back and reread my books, but I'm sure that if I did, I would not be, like you look back at what you did 10 years ago and then you're
Yeah,
like,
and
oh,
you're a little
no,
like,
kind of crazy. But like if I read the dialogues, I would be like, oh, I could still write this. I could still be writing this right now because
yeah,
it's just like naturally been that way for me, dialogues. And people try to be more pretentious or like wanting to be okay, my writing is so. I've tried to keep that limited to the narration and the actual like format and form and all those different
hmm,
things, but the
yeah,
dialogue should always be fluid. They should always just be conversational. Just
yeah,
because you're gonna call your book literary or commercial, that shouldn't
hmm,
dictate how people talk. Like,
yeah,
so that's like something actually I also it was pointed out to me by a teacher in my master's program. She was like saying that if you should just sit somewhere and then watch people talk, or like whenever,
hmm,
even in TV shows or whatever you're doing, you just watch how people talk, they move, it's not just like words. Nobody talks in perfect paragraphs and like stuff like that. And that's what
exactly,
like pulls you out of a book when you're reading something and it's like perfect long speeches and like no one's interrupting them and
exactly,
like, all those things. So
exactly.
yeah, I have studied that a little bit, like just watching people.